Good evening, everyone. We welcome you all to the webinar on major leagues in the IAM implementation. My name is Sunaina. I am the manager for L&D at Askmeidentity. First of all, thank you very much for joining us amidst your busy schedule. Today, we have with us two of our leaders at Askmeidentity. Sumit Tiwari, who is the CEO of Askmeidentity. He has over 10 plus years of experience into IAM and overall cybersecurity. Worked with customers like Unisys, Tesco across US, UK, Asia, and Middle East with extensive knowledge on IAM landscape with industry exposure. Next, we have with us Dibakar Sarkar. He has over 17 plus years of experience in IAM operations, space working with leading staffing industries like Dextro, Fireball, Intera across US and UK regions. Now, I would request Dibakar to share his thoughts on major leagues.
Hi, hello, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the presentation on overcoming IAM challenges brought to you by Askmeidentity. Okay, so let's dive into the trends, tools, and solutions shaping secure identity and management. Okay, let's go to the next slide, please. So here we will talk about the major leagues, that is overcoming challenges in the IAM domain with Askmeidentity. Okay, now in this section we will talk about the IAM market trends and the tools used by the organization. The IAM, that is, the IAM market is projected to grow from 19 billion in 2024 to 61 billion by 2032, with a CAGR of 15.3%. Okay, and this growth is driven by cloud adoption, AI integration, and rising cyber threats. And also, as many of you have maybe used of these tools, that is Okta, One Login, Ping Identity, SailPoint. So these are the tools which has been used by the organizations, CyberArk, and so on. Okay, can you move to the next slide, please? Okay, so in this slide, we will talk about the IAM market tools and trends. So in popular IAM tools, that is identity access management tools, include adaptive authentication system, SSO, PAM, and cloud-based platforms. Okay, also we'll talk about the regional adoption trends, that is North America, Europe, Asia, and the Middle East, where North America emphasizes on the integration of AI and machine learning for predictive threat analysis. And okay, now we will talk about the global market size. Globally, IAM valued at 13 billion in 2022 and projected to reach 25 billion by 2027 with a CAGR of 13.7% in India. The market was 882 million in 2028, is expected to hit 1.74 billion by 2023. Okay, so in this section, you can see the slide. You can see the overview of the market on various features like PAM, IGA, CIEM, and their growth patterns. You can have a look on the slide, the year by year, the growth that IAM has come across. Okay. Can you move on to the next slide, please? Okay, so in this slide, we will talk about the major characteristics and pain points, that's SME, global, and Indian markets. Okay, so in a survey like according to the advisors me, that has been revealed that 43% of small business faced cyber attacks, and 92% reported IAM challenge, and 20% still use insecure methods like spreadsheets to store passwords. Okay. And the survey also found that 92% small business have experienced at least one challenge related to IAM, and it also found significant proportion of small business saying they struggle with the new particular IAM challenges. Okay. Move to the next slide, please. Okay, so here we'll discuss about the true cost about the data breach. So in 2023, the global average cost of a data breach hit 4.45 million. Breaches lead to reputational damage, legal issues, and operational disruption. And also, identity access management helps mitigate this risk. Okay, can you move to the next slide, please? Okay, so we will talk about the behind the headlines. That is, while we won't name any specific companies, recent years have been several high-profile breaches. Okay, so that is one is a global financial institution, second is an international healthcare provider, and a major retail corporation in both different sectors. So in a global financial institution, suffered a breach when attacker exploited a vulnerability in their legacy system, compromising millions of customer accounts. Okay, and even in a privacy data breach also, or for a chat app user, millions of messages potentially the containing personal information are reportedly leaked, and now they are sold on a website. Okay, can you move the next slide, please? Okay, in this slide, we'll discuss about the path forward proactive defense. So the key steps include the regular security audits, employee training, incident response planning, and investing in advanced IAM solution to build trust and perfect customer data. Okay, from the next slide, I think Sumit will take over and we'll discuss about the problems, about the IAM challenges, and complexity of user management. So I would like to invite Sumit to discuss a few more things about this.
Thank you, Diwakar. Hey, everyone. So, as Diwakar has taught us about how IAM is a growing landscape and how organizations, even the big organizations, are having challenges because of any failure in the security, especially with the IAM or identity. We have seen not only enterprises who is like only from the workforce perspective, but also from the customers. We have seen a lot of large organizations who had identity attacks or breaches has faced significant challenges from the regulators, from their customers, and customers definitely lose a trust in that specific product or service. So I would like to start my conversation by understanding some of the major problems we come across whenever we speak with our customers regarding their IAM challenges. So the first most challenge is managing the user themselves, because as the user base grows, the types of users becomes varied, and managing them and providing them the role which they should have becomes a challenge. The second challenge which we have seen based on our experience working with different customers is the integration challenge. Integrating not only the security products within the infrastructure, but also connecting that security product with other technologies used by the businesses. So in order to set up these cross technology product, it takes time, effort, and a lot of customers would try to, uh, let's say, keep some of these technology unsecure because they find it very challenging integrating them, or they try to use a legacy method, which then brings leakages within their own infrastructure. Data breach, as attackers regularly target enterprises and big customers, and they try to extract data from their business, which they sell on websites for their personal gain. But in that, there are major loss to the businesses financially. Also, they lose customers. Some of the times we have seen credit card data get stolen or any other confidential data get stolen. So that is one of the major concern from the data perspective by a lot of customers. Proper access control, so implementing zero trust framework and other framework which would provide more security over the authorization of these users are challenges, and there are a lot of tools in the market to do that, but improper use of those tools or knowledge or lack of knowledge also creates this challenge. Then as we grow as an organization, we have more and more employees. That also increases our attack vectors because some of the times employees, whether they intentionally or unintentionally, leak the data or the sensitive information, which may be then misused by attacker from outside and can gain access to your inside organization. Then there are other kind of challenges which is related with email security, like phishing attack, where somebody can send you a simulated emails and you may click on a link which you may think coming from a generic source or from somebody you know, but that may not be the same, and they gain access to your credentials, your laptop, and then they can start misusing it. A lot of the times, customers implement weaker authentication methods because of the compliance sometimes that they need to also obey. So some of the times I have seen people implementing SMS as a factor, although we know that it's not a secure factor. Again, they need to hand out a mobile device to everyone in order to go for a smart based authenticator, like a very authenticator app like Google Authenticator or Microsoft Authenticator. So some of the time, due to the HR challenges as well, they still use a legacy authentication method which brings in vulnerabilities and may be misutilized by the attackers if they get to know about it. Then auditing is one of the key areas where customers lack a specific knowledge or skill set which they should be putting in more effort at, because without the regular audits, we would not know what is happening within our organization from a security perspective. And the more time something is vulnerable, it's a plus sign for the attacker to get into our system and then expose our data. So we should be like focusing on that, and these are the major challenges which we have seen with a lot of our customers with whom we have worked, and we have tried to negotiate around these areas so that they can focus on their business and we can shape their security. So I want to discuss some of these problems which we have identified as major challenges, with the first being with the user management. So as I said initially, so as user base grows within any organization, right, the types of users changes. So there can be customer within an organization, there would be employees within an organization, there would be contractors, vendors, business partners, and different types of employees. And for large organizations, there are 100+ roles, and it becomes very difficult to manage these roles from an administrative perspective. So people start to get more access than what they should be having, and that creates a complex challenge in proper user management, proper authorization management, and it creates an issue down the line. So if, let's say, if my computer is hacked, and although as a role wise, I may not have much of the data or much of the access, but if due to improper group assignment, I get access to, let's say, some of the administrative groups, then that can be misused by the attacker, and they can try to get in the system as an administrator and then remove other administrators and can extract data. So this kind of user management creates a challenge within the organization. And as an IAM professional, we have to be very careful while designing the roles and the access policies within our organization, how to shape the user data, how to shape the authorization data, group management, how we should be doing the role-based access control, what role should have specific applications or specific authorization levels that has to be designed perfectly. The second challenge which I would like to discuss in detail is the integration challenge. So a lot of customers, as I said, only focus on integrating their applications with the IAM platform so that they can control who gets access, and they can also utilize single sign-on platform. So that helps to a lot. But again, applications or SaaS applications are not the only applications or technology used by the organizations. There are other tools and systems which we cannot connect with a generic IAM platform. So we need to think about that. For example, we need to think about how we can secure our firewall, how we need to connect the identity and the authorization with all of the network devices and components, how we can introduce PAM within the system so that all of our servers are, instead of using a local account, they are utilizing the PAM solutions, how we can then connect our forwarders and any part of the secure system, which may be a legacy, which may be an on-prem, with the identity and authorization. So sometimes you might also need to build custom solutions, which is not readily available in the market from the general players. But this is our infrastructure. We know it better, so we need to start creating a solution, integrate it, not only with the applications, but with other technologies which business also has, so that we have more and better security in terms of identity and access. The third challenge, which I would like to discuss, is data breach. And data breach is a very common issue. A lot of organization faces this. Sometimes the breaches can significantly impact the organization. Sometimes it's a minor information which gets out and exposed to the general media or general people, right? So let's say if I am a product company and I'm selling my product and services to customers, and I have customer data which may provide information about where my different customers are, their credit card data, right, their preferences, and if that get exposed, people might make a sell out of it. But for me as an organization, it would create a financial issue wherein I would lose all of these customers. They wouldn't trust me because I don't have a better security to provide them. I wouldn't have been able to provide them the privacy which they have deserved. So data breach is a very key and crucial thing which security has to look. And from the IAM, identity and access management point of view, we can try to secure the authentication. We can try to secure the process of accessing any data safely, so that there is less chances of breaches. Or I would say, if we can't stop it, let's say at least we can make it hard for people to navigate around it, who is trying to obtain an illegal access to our data. Credential theft. So with the with as Divakar said, right, people still are using unconventional credential storage like Excel or Notepad in order to store the credentials. Sometimes these are not just generic credential, but also a privileged credential. So think if someone's privileged credential is exposed because of let's say a fire attack or something, then they can access all the servers or the applications where you have privilege upon, right? So they can start getting the data out of it, or they can start changing something within the organization which may cause you a financial impact. So credential theft then has to be credential has to be stored securely, as well as the authentication of that credential has to be tied with stronger security. The implementation of multi-factor has to be in place. We also have to start utilizing context-aware authentication, where we evaluate on person's location, and we check against the last location from where this user has access, so we can down like we can decrease the number of attacks which is occurring. Even if somebody has gained the credentials, they would not be able to log into our systems. Then in order to put in more security around our access of applications or access of any systems, we need to design a proper authorization system where we define certain roles, and we ensure that list privilege is followed. So we design an access control policy where we start with zero access, and then we level up the access as needed from time to time, and we do a frequent access review, and we try to modify the access of the user so that we can keep up with the requirement and the security. So these are the four challenges and their solution, which I would suggest from an identity professional to anybody looking into these challenges for their customers. You can go to the next slide, Sana. These problems are done, so you can go to the next slide after the problem. All right. So now it's time to share some of the insight about how Askmeidentity has overcome these challenges. So as we saw these challenges, and it is very general with even with a large organization, we may know the name, the brand name, they're very famous, but they still have these challenges. So as working with them, we have gained experience, and based on our experience, we have devised a framework where we do proactive risk detection. We have threat analytics in place where we try to analyze if there is any leakage. We do constant security testing within the organization. We analyze on the different technologies and the servers which is deployed by the customers, right? And also with the SaaS applications, we are try to come around with the framework in like ensuring proper access management is in place. Now, the benefit of creating this security posture is it reduces administrative overhead as we deploy automation along with our process. So we try to include automation and script-based automation or agent-based automation in place wherever it is possible so that we can reduce human errors, also keeping in balance with the administrator and the generic issues which they will be solving and implementing on a day-to-day basis. As we introduce automation, that definitely brings down the cost of our customers, so they do not have to like invest more or from the, let's say, from the resourcing and upskilling side of it. Definitely on the research part, we do need people who can learn more and who will be able to implement these solutions. But there are repetitive tasks which can be easily achieved by the automation, and that brings down the cost of our customer. And with this in mind, our customers can then scale and have more customers in the future so that we take care of their security and they focus on their core business strengths. And with all of our security postures, which we design or the framework, we keep user experience in mind. So we try to see how would it appeal to our users, because a system which can be very secure may not be very lucrative to our users. And although there is a security and all the benefits that the user might be getting, but user would move away. So we also need to keep in mind the user experience while developing these solutions. And in all of the Askmeidentity solutions which we have provided so far, user experience has been our core priority. So what we have seen is after we have started working on a solution with our customers, we have seen significant increase in all of these areas which we have discussed. So we have analyzed on different customers, and we have seen that 20 to 40% increase in their security posture. So the customer feel more confident, and the customer has more knowledge about the recent trends and the mitigation techniques whenever they go on acquiring new technology. The efficiency of their administrative operation has increased as we have introduced some of the automations which would then keep the customer at pace. So we have seen 40 to 60% increase in there as well. Cost saving, there has been a massive increase in cost saving for our customers, and that keeps us at pace with the global solution provider so that they also look for Askmeidentity for the other solutions. Our customers had been able to scale, so we have seen at least 40% of our customers with their feedback that they have been able to focus more on their core business strength. For example, a retail customer has been able to expand and scale more from one geography to another. And we have been taking care of the security solutions, so they do not have to put more effort in from their own side. And as I said, user experience is our core priority, so we try to keep the user experience. We even analyze the systems where the user experience from is lacking, so we try to build in custom solutions to improve that. So that has been the benefit of utilizing Askmeidentity solutions or consulting services across the globe. To give some of the insight into the projects which Askmeidentity has worked and how we have improved their security posture and other parameters. So here is the example of a financial firm, and initially they were struggling with security and compliance challenges. So when we were onboarded as a solution provider, we did analysis of the breach data from other organizations as well, which are of the similar nature. So we understand the attack vectors, and we have also then provided we did major study around their own servers, their own security solutions, which is in place, so that we can come up with a solution which would fit into their requirement. So we analyze the incidents threat which they were seeing on their same solutions. We also try to do an overview of the user management which they were doing within their organization, and we try to work with the compliance and regulatory team to understand the risks which they were posing and how to fix that. So we came up with a solution to implement a stronger multi-factor authentication with a centralized identity management. We also created them a CX dashboard where they can see the compliance reporting, they can see auditing, and a proper access review was set up for that customer so that they would be able to do the certification of access quarterly. And this has helped in achieving the solution which they were looking for, and the customer was happy at the end, and that has helped us and made us happy. So I can list another project which is in the SailPoint, and the project was again from financial client, where they were looking to address the gaps in their identity governance process and to improve the access management and again the lifecycle management of users provisioning. So there also we using the SailPoint, we devise a solution where we can do a process mapping of their access management, entitlement management, and access review. And we interviewed the stakeholders, we did the gap analysis, and with that we came to the solution that there were delays and error due to manual process which they were utilizing before. And although they had SailPoint within their system, they were not properly utilizing it, and that can again be due to the lack of skill set or with the challenges which they have and less administrative staff which they have, so that they're not able to keep up the pace. So when we came onboarded as a solution provider, we tried to remove all of these obstacles so that we can make the customer happy here as well. So there are again similar kind of implementation which Askmeidentity has done. We have migrated an organization which was a partner of a big UK retail chain, and from there they were then separating and bringing it their own entity in Thailand and Malaysia. So we migrated them entirely from a conjunction-based platform to their own entity-based platform. So we design the entire user interface, how the platform should look like, how to onboard the users from the existing solution, which was from the parent company to their own entity. And we used one login there. So one login was a solution which we provided to the customer, and the customer is now a giant in their own area in Thailand, Malaysia. So these are some of the examples which and the customer type which we have worked with and successfully implementing and showcasing how I can improve their business. So this is about Askmeidentity and the challenges of IAM, which Askmeidentity tries to solve. If you ever need to contact us for any security solutions or any guidance on those, these are the contact numbers and the ways to reach out to us. We are always there to help you. We try to help all of the organizations to overcome the IAM challenges, and we provide them a solution which is fit for their requirement. I would hand it back to Sunaina. Sunaina, are you there? I think you are mute.
Sorry, I was on mute. So I do have a question. Like, I just wanted to know, like, how do we choose, like, what product? How do we decide actually which product to choose?
Sorry, I think we didn't hear your question. So the only thing which I heard is how do we choose a product?
Yeah.
All right. So again, before selecting a product, we should first come up with the requirements which we are trying to fit in, right? So we should have evaluation document which we can create based on, let's say, 5 use cases which we are looking to implement, and then we would evaluate different products and see how they are fitting into these 5 use cases, and if there are any challenges with any of these products in any of the use cases. So based on that, we can then decide which product would be more sustainable in our business. Again, currently we may have only these 5 use cases as a requirement, but we also need to think a little bit in the future that, okay, in the next 10 years or 5 years, what are the things which we are targeting and what are the different use cases which we might see, or the challenges which we might see based on the industry specific, which other organizations may have already been seeing and they have already dealt with. So again, that would also be a benchmark to evaluate any specific product or solution. Again, sometime one product may not be answer for all. So we also have to select either a conjunction of product, or we need to start developing some custom solutions along with a major product in line.
Okay. Samaj. Now, does identity and security is same or like it is different?
Security is to secure, and identity security is to secure the identity. So identity and security are not same, but identity security is part of a security, right? So we play the role here of securing a user's identity or non-user's identity, right? So there are when we say user, we don't generally mean human. We also mean non-human, like service accounts or tokens, right? So we try to solve the complexity problem here, like how to secure them, what authentication method they would be using based on different roles which they have, what access they should have, right? So it's not the same term, but it is part of the same domain.
Okay. Any questions from audience? Sumit, what should be the highest priority user experience, compliance or security?
Both. So it is like chicken and egg. So if you follow security, that is very good, and you can stop, you can mitigate from the risks. But at the same time, if you are not compliant, then the regulators may come to you. Again, there are different compliance requirement, and that may impact your business. For example, if you are following security but less you're not following GDPR, then you may get a fine or a query from the GDPR community, and they might start looking into your business. So that will again bring challenges for you, which you again have to solve. So I recommend looking both, where we can have a security and a compliance together.
Okay. And what regions does Askmeidentity cater to now?
Currently, we are catering globally, so we mostly are in US, UK, and we have recently also starting to look into the Middle East and Africa. India has been our domestic market, so we are definitely working with customers in India and serving their needs.
We do have one question from Komaldeep. What are the IAM solutions and tools you prefer to work with mostly?
Again, there is no specific answer to this question because there is no one tool which we work with. So we are a major partner of Okta, Identity, Beyond Trust, and CyberArk. So we work with different products, and again, based on the customer's requirement, we try to create a solution which is robust and scalable with their business, right? So there is no one tool which I can say based on the different segment. As for example, my personal preferences could be, let's say, Okta working if I'm looking for a cloud-based service provider, but if I am also looking towards connecting the solution with different data stores and having a more granular control, then I might also offer Ping or ForgeRock in that scenario. So choice of tool is based on the requirement, and with that we do a evaluation of a product and then we select a product.
Okay. One question is from Gunraj. He's saying, is your IAM solution global, international, or it's limited to India?
So we are providing solutions majorly in US, UK, and India. And as I said, currently we have also started looking into Middle East, where we have also partnered with few of the customers to provide them the security solutions. And we as a solution provider, right, we create an environment where we work with the global clients, and we have team in different geographies working with them.
Okay. One more question is from Riddhi Chakrabarti. He's asking, what are the best practices to be followed by any organization to identify risks and how to mitigate them? Could you please give a few examples?
Yeah, identification of risk would come with auditing. So I would say rigorous auditing and daily auditing. So having a proper SOC setup is required to mitigate risk, right? So with this proper SOC solution in place, you understand live attacks or live activity which is being done within and outside the organization, and you can then create automation or rules or you can also connect your SOC solution with an automation tool to prevent this from happening. Like if you see for the endpoint management, how CrowdStrike has auto detection features where you can create some of the rules, and whenever a user is, let's say, downloading a file over the internet which is not from a trusted publisher, it automatically blocks that file and deletes the downloaded file. So these are the proactiveness has to be there within the security team to mitigate the risk.
Thank you, Sumit.
Thank you.
Sumit, what are your solutions around automation? Any examples around automation that Askmeidentity has solved for their customers?
Yes, we have created a lot of solutions in the terms of automation. So we are a great evangelist of DevOps scenario. So we propose our DevOps environment wherever we go, wherever it is, it will give a return on investment to the customer, right? So we have framework for DevOps for almost most of the identity providers or the security solutions which we work with. So we have framework for DevOps for Okta, for Pain, for CyberArk. We have worked with different SOC providers like Logarithm, and we have prepared a DevOps environment for them as well. We do write certain our own solution, custom solutions to connect with Active Directories, right? To keep up with the Active Directories, object types, and to not just to synchronize them with the solution provider, but also to like do a correlation, right? We have our own automation solution in terms of self-service options. So there are a lot of self-service portal which we have designed so that the users do not have to call the help desk at all the times, and they can use those portals at the best. So these are some of the automation tools. We have a lot of automation design, mostly with the JML processes, where we create an environment where users can onboard themselves, can request for different roles and access during the life cycle, and the deprovisioning of the users from the organization. That is one of the major areas we have worked with known HRMS solutions like Oracle HRMS, Kronos, in creating a solutions where we can synchronize them with different data stores. So there are a lot of automation solutions which we have working with our customers like this.
Okay, thanks so much. Last question is like, what should be the first step for new customer to improve their security around identity, and how should they start?
To improve their security for a new customer, first we need to understand our customer. What is our customer doing? What is their major business, right? And then we need to do analysis on their existing solution if they have, and we then need to understand from the business vertical which they are participating in that what are the key points they should be focusing on. And sometimes the business would have their own key points which they want to focus on, so we need to take care of that as well. Based on that, then you have to create the framework where you would be able to like do this 5 activities or implement this 5 strategies to solve their issues. So that is, I would recommend a proper analysis on all the tools, on all the infrastructure which the customer has, a proper auditing of the security solution which the customer has in place, identify the gaps in their security measures, and then do the benchmark from based on your experience with the companies in the same sector with the different customers, and provide them a solution which would be the best for them.
We do have one question from Riddhish. How to identify privilege creep, and if it occurs, how to deal with such scenario?
So yes, a privilege creep can occur. Now, once we have identified, let's say, a privilege creep or something, taking a privilege access gain, again, that points back to our SOC team, because SOC team is the first one to see something like that is happening, right? So if we see any abnormal behaviors or any abnormal activities from a user, we need to flag that from the SOC team, and then we need to start auditing, interviewing that user, that why that was done. We can also build some peer-to-peer analysis, right? If there are other users within the same roles within the same project, and if they are not trying to do such certain activities, why is this user doing that activities, right? If he has been given a specific scope to do that, so those would be mitigating steps in order to secure it. Again, if we fail to do so, the attacker may gain access and they might misuse it. So we need to prevent it ourselves by implementing the proper SOC solution.
Thank you so much.
Do we have any more questions from audience? Please ask. No more questions, then can we wrap up? Thanks everyone for joining in, and thanks, special thanks to Debakar and Sumit for sharing insights and answering all the queries from the audience. And thanks team for joining us for this webinar.
Sure. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you,
Thanks
Divya.
for the time.